Well, before I begin, we're going to need to make some introductions. So when I ask you to say your name, I need you to scream as loud as you can. Your God-given name. You ready? Yeah. What is your name? Good. The introductions are in order. So I am so excited to be standing here with all of you today. My heart is so full, and I will say that I understand that as we celebrate in this world that we're living in, I'll be honest with you, I recognize that right now we are living in very unique economic times. Many of you are aware that even with artificial intelligence and exponential technologies, they did not deliver the promise of a societal utopia that we expected, right? And for many of us, we know we can reach anyone in the world within an instant. But yet, why do some of us still feel so alone and more disconnected than ever before? You see, the world that we expected to be in today is not the one that we're living in right now. And many of you, in your frustration, you might ask, where are our leaders? Where are they? Where are the leaders that promise to end global poverty? Where are the leaders that promise to end homelessness? Where are the leaders that promise to tackle climate change? And where are the leaders that promise to give this generation a future better than the one that they received? Where are they? In fact, as I stand here today, this is the first generation to inherit less than their parents. As you search for these leaders, I know many of us, as powerful as we are, as excited as we are today, we are frustrated. Because the leaders, the faces of leadership that we see today no longer inspires us. Because quite frankly, things didn't really get as better as we expected it to, did it? Maybe the faces of leadership has changed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the faces of leadership looks like this: global influencers with millions of followers, billions of subscribers. Or, judging by your laughter, you know that's what they want you to believe. Because I like to challenge those of you who are skeptical to understand this, that the leaders that truly make history were always the ones we did not see coming. When you think of someone like Mandela, she did not apply to become a global icon. She made a brave decision that not only rocked the conversation of education for women and girls in her country, but around the world. Many of you are inspired by Dangote, Africa's leading billionaire. But tell the truth, would you have entertained him in your office if he came to you for funding at the age of 20 when he started Dangote? Yes, many of you probably know Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president, and one of the many faces of the Pan-African movement. In his early 30s, he launched a Pan-African conference on American soil that rocked the entire region that we know today, before he became president. And how can I forget? The infamous Nelson Mandela, who, for his namesake, we are gathered in this room for the 10th anniversary of the Nelson Mandela Fellowship. Many of you recognize and know his legacy as South Africa's president, the face of peace and prosperity during a tumultuous time. But a lot of you don't know how he started. At the age of 26, he launched the first activist youth movement in his country. Each one of these examples that still inspire us today, we did not see coming. Will they see you when it's your time? What is your name? I can hear some of you, but some of you have the audacity to stay silent. The pure audacity. You see, there is power in a name. There are generations that was waiting for you to be born, that blessed you with God-given talents, and you have heard your name so many times, you actually take it for granted. You need to believe in the power of the name that was given to you. Because quite frankly, all the movements that you see around the world since time immemorial, they started because one name stood up. It reminds me of a quote. It ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. How many of you know your mission? How many of you is actually serving a vision? Many of you don't even recognize that you're actually lost and confused. I don't blame you, because many of you were told what leadership and success society, they hammered it into you every single day by your parents, your family, the leaders that we quote unquote titled. I recognize that we were told what success looked like, but I am challenging you to really break free from it. I am asking you, for the sake of future generations waiting for you to deliver the promise that was given to you on the day you were born, break free from traditional stories and branded leadership that we have today. Break free from it. And I'm speaking from experience. You could tell I'm speaking from my heart, because I did it once. You see the image you see there on the screen? That is the last day of me working as a banker. And let me tell you, on that day, when I told my parents I was quitting banking, whoo, they act like somebody died today on that day. And you know, to be honest with you, something did die. What died was me trying to fulfill the media expectations of what I was supposed to be. That's what died. And many of you are trying to achieve mediocre expectations. I knew something was calling me. I knew something was telling me I need to be more different and tap into something greater. It took me here. And many of you recognize this place because this image, this place, was all over the news over a decade ago. This place that I love called Haiti. Haiti. For many of you, you probably don't know that this is where I grew up. All my best childhood memories happen in this country. This place where, alongside my grandmother, I used to sell street foods with her, alongside my mother, who's the first in my family to not only sell Haitian artwork in the streets of Haiti, but also in the streets of New York City. And there is, right there, an image of me. By the way, I'm an Ivy League graduate at this point, Gates scholar, successful banker in the streets selling and engaging with street vendors around the world. You see, a lot of you think that on your path to greatness, it's supposed to look a certain way. Many of you are sad, many of you are confused, many of you have given up. Right before your greatest gift is supposed to be shined onto the world. What did I do to get here? Well, I had to go back to ground zero. I had to go back to the beginning. You see, many of you don't realize that sometimes you need to take a couple steps back in order to accelerate yourself forward. For many of you, going back feels like failure. You're embarrassed. You don't want to take the chance because too many people are watching. Who is watching that matters? Because the only person you should answer to is to you and your God. But for some of you in this room, going back means taking a bold step towards your future. When I took this step, when I broke free, within 2 years, the company I launched, helping street vendors around the world, not only made the Forbes list within 2 years, then the media came, and then Forbes came, and then Harvard came, and the billionaires came, and the icons came. These leaders who I once held, that I wanted to meet, now wanted to meet me. Now let me tell you, as you're progressing, please, don't confuse progress with completion. Because many of you in this room have accomplished so much that you think your resume means that the work is done. It is not done. I knew that the vision I had for the narrative and the story of my home country, whom I love, still looked like this for a lot of people when I wanted them to see this. I wanted them to see the culture. I wanted to see the food, the music, the people, the legacy that the first Black republic in the world has put in the history books. That's what I wanted them to see. And I knew, I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I knew if I was going to do this, I had to do it my own way, and not what the experts told me how it needed to be done. In 2017, I launched Haiti Tech Summit. Now, obviously, Haiti and tech doesn't make sense in the same sentence now, does it? All the experts, all the naysayers, all the most powerful influencers who have quote unquote done it before say it would not work. Logistically, it's impossible in Haiti. You won't get people to come. People won't understand. There's too much to figure out. Let me tell you, experts will always tell you how it should not be done. That's why you have to follow your truth, because you will create new paths that even the experts could not see coming. So I went against every rational sense of advice was given to me. I was stubborn. And I know many of you know what real fighting energy looks like. I said I'm going to move forward. Even if one person shows up, that's all I needed to improve. And so I did. And on that day, not only did we gather 100 global speakers from around the world, hundreds of people flew in to be in this place. On that day when we went live, we made 82 million social media impressions. When you Googled Haiti on that day, you did not see the images that I didn't want you to see. You saw images of Haiti, its people, celebrating progress. That's what happened on that day. And obviously, one thing I will say, when you start to show people what your potential truly looks like, the train starts to go and everyone wants to hop along. The media came, the partners came, the networks came, influencers of every kind came, and we took them to Ghana, we took them to Kenya, we took them to Ethiopia, we took them to Egypt. Within months, we were around the world, across the Middle East, across the Caribbean, across Europe, across Africa. And to imagine, when they say, who started this movement? It was a young little girl who grew up in the streets of Haiti that launched the largest accelerated platform in the world. That's who did it. And one thing that I learned, when you're tapping into your potential, you don't take traditional routes. You don't search for the right degrees. You don't try to network with the best family names. You don't try to execute on leadership formulas that are outdated. No, when you are tapping into your potential, you, my friends, are unstoppable. You start to tap into energy you didn't even know you had. You start to showcase resilience you didn't even know you had the capacity for. You start to take a leap of faith in yourself that your confidence becomes magnetic. Who amongst you will answer the call when someone tells you to show up? What is your name? That is the name that one day will be spoken in many rooms like this one. And I'm so honored to be in this room with all of you, because a lot of you, right now you smile, but I know there are times you're crying. I know there are times you are sad. I know there are times where you feel like this challenge I've given up. I've surmounted too many odds. Oh, my dear. The seeds of your greatness is right there. You just need to tap into it. You just need to really, really trust your gut. Don't trust what seems obvious. Trust what your heart tells you. Because as stated before, the challenges that we are facing in today's society will need transformational, grounded, authentic leaders who are proud of where they come from, proud of their journey, proud of what they've been through, who do not care. Those things that you are embarrassed to tell people will become your biggest weapons of progress. Don't be shy where you come from, where you ate, where you went to school, who your family is, because I will tell you, as I stand here today, I would never have imagined that being honest and true, that my family didn't have a great name. My family didn't come from the best of means, but I was proud of where I come from. How many of you are proud of where you began? If you are, then you are legendary. Because as this quote says, be yourself, because everybody else is already taken. So one more time, I want to ask you, what is your name? Now, you're so loud, even future generations are excited to meet you. I hope that you find inspiration and not chasing and copying the cadence and the styles and the strategies of previous traditional leaders, that you create new forms of leadership, showcase new versions of leadership, showcase new powerful stories and journeys that more people can be inspired about. And I hope that when you hear that voice calling for your name, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you answer the call. Thank you.
Thank you so much.